game jams. Competitions where people have to create a game in line with a theme in a limited time. But I'm not doing a game jam. I'm doing a... which is just exactly the same, but with music. I will be competing in the Crunch Time 04 Jam hosted by Lone Rabbit. So let's go to Future Me to see what the theme is. The theme is... freedom. Oh, I think I might be able to work with this. Wow, what a cool theme. I started working on a song for the title screen, and I wanted to incorporate some sort of hip-hop influence, so I decided on having very prominent drums and some darker piano. So I finished the title song, and I started work on a song for segment 1. I tried a bit faster breakcore, but that didn't really fit, so I shelved it, and I tried something else, something a bit slower, and something a bit darker sounding. But I didn't have enough time to finish it, because I was going to play Dungeons & Dragons later that night. I finished the song from the day before, and I decided on a way to incorporate the theme. Instead of taking freedom at a face value, I decided to invert the theme, and focus on a lack of freedom instead. I did this by focusing on a person in a coma and using a lot of hospital sounds. I started work on a song for the gimmick of the game, which is that the main character could take over an eagle for a limited time. The song gradually speeds up and adds more stuff to sound anxiety-inducing. Then, I started work on a song for the second part of the game in the office. I kinda wanted to make this one a bit more ethereal, and I did that using an ambient synth that constantly plays. I also added a heart rate monitor noise that I ended up using in most of the tracks in the soundtrack. After that, I started work on a song that I never ended up using. It was supposed to be a pause menu, but I forgot to export it. Then I started work on a song for the third part in the game on the Rooftops. I tried to make this one sound like something sad is happening, but you don't know what. I did this by never having too many instruments and having a pretty sad chord progression. Following that, I started work on a song for A Moment Alone With Yourself, which I did using a sad chord progression and a very prominent heart rate monitor. But the song after that I find a lot more interesting to discuss. It's supposed to represent panic and be very anxiety-inducing. And I did this by having every loop not be after 4 bars but after 5 bars, and every loop it gets pitched up by 1 semitone. The heart rate monitor in this track also gets gradually more distorted. This track then transitions into a track for a cutscene where the eagle saves you. I then started work on a song that plays once you wake up from your coma. I made the song in a 4/3 time signature, and I only used 2 instruments, a guitar and a piano, to make it feel more home-like. And that's everything I managed to do on day 2. I made a song for the credits, which is basically the same thing as the song before it, but with drums and not in 4/3. But I mostly used this day to mix the songs, finalize the songs, and do all the things for the itch.io page. And just like that, the jam is done.